Hello, my name's Drew Jarvis and I'm an application specialist with Cansel in Vancouver, BC. And today I'm going to show you how to create worksets using Dynamo. This came about because I had a meeting with a client where I was setting up a project and they wanted to create multiple worksets for multiple buildings in order to manage the memory issues inside of a large mechanical building. Now, I figured Dynamo would be the ideal solution for this type of automation. So what I envision is a list of building names and then a list of discipline names, and putting these together and using a bit of Python scripting to actually go and create these worksets. So let's take a look. We'll open up Dynamo and I'm going to start by creating a group of strings. Now these strings will contain the list of the buildings, so let's just start with simply building 1, and then we'll just make a bunch of those. These will be 2, 3 and 4 for now, and of course you could name these strings anything you need. Now similarly I'm going to take one of these and make this the architecture. Mechanical, electrical, and structural. So what I want to do essentially is take building 1 and create a workset called building 1 underscore architecture, building 1 underscore mechanical, building 1 underscore electrical, etc. So I'm going to need lists of these strings. So we'll take each of these string items here and put them into a list. Similarly down here we'll take the discipline values and create a list out of those. And then the next part is where I'm going to need to insert some sort of Python. And this will enable me to simply take values from here and concatenate them with values from here. So double click on the Python script node and you get access to this information. So we're going to modify that somewhat. I'm not really doing any actual modification of geometry or anything like that. I'm just dealing with some strings here, so I don't really need to import anything. So what I'll do is I'm going to put building names equals in 0, and then we'll take the discipline names as the input on number 1. We then need an output, so I'm going to go with workset names and say that that is a list, and then essentially for each building name in the building names, we then say for each discipline name in discipline names, what we're going to do is take that workset names list and append to it the building name plus a underscore and the discipline name. So hopefully that makes sense. Be better if I put that as a lowercase I. So there, and then we'll take that workset names and make that the out. There we go. So if I now make sure I've got 2 ins and I take this one here and this one here, if I hover long enough, there we go, I get building 1 architectural, building 1 mechanical, building 1 electrical, etc., as I was hoping. So now I have a list of the workset names I would like to produce. What I need to do next is actually generate the worksets. Now there is no workset node, so you can't do creation of worksets straight out in Dynamo, but with Python we have access to all of those fantastic API things. So let's make another little Python node here and let's disconnect these things before they Oops, before they break anything. Maybe at this stage I'm going to set it to manual as well, so it doesn't go ahead and just start making things if I get it slightly wrong. So I'm only going to need one input, I believe. I'm going to double click on here and let's take a look. What we're going to do is some kind of boilerplate stuff. So that gives us the document manager and the transaction manager. The document manager we're going to use so that we can work on the active document, and the transaction manager so that we can actually change things in the database. Now we're going to be dealing with the Revit API, so what we're going to do here is we're going to bring in the Revit API reference. Now, we have a list of workset names. That we're bringing in. And what we're going to do is reference the document as the current document. So now we have the document. What we're going to do is start up a transaction. So in the transaction manager that we brought in earlier, we can